Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yeah, let's make some noise, Nick Foles. Welcome back, everybody, one and all. Friends and neighbors, enemies and frenemies. Welcome back to the final word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call, and we have arrived. We are at the precipice. It's like Christmas Eve, folks. Matter of fact, it is like Christmas Eve because we've been able to open up one present so far. One present has been opened, and that is happening currently between the Yankees and the Giants out there in the Bay Area. The Yankees are all over the Giants, 7-0, as the Major League Baseball season has arrived, and we are in bloom, not full bloom, but in bloom. And tomorrow, in about 17 hours from this particular moment in time, the Phillies will start it off officially against the Texas Rangers at Citizen Bank Park. Christopher Sanchez will get the nod, and he will attempt to get the Phillies off on the right foot. And it's great to be here on, again, Christmas Eve of the baseball season. And a lot of families celebrate that by allowing their kids and friends and family members to open up one present. And that's exactly what we've been given here in the baseball world, is that one present as baseball is underway. It's great to be back here on the final word, our final word of the week. Matter of fact, man, I'm not even, I think we're not back until, if my memory serves, Tuesday. I think it's our last broadcast of the final word till Tuesday, because we're about to get overwhelmed with post-game obligations starting tomorrow afternoon, stretching all the way through the weekend and into the early part of next week. I said this last night that the final word was going to suffer as the rest of the Flyers season sort of worked itself out and we got into the groove of the Philly season. It's a small price to pay for the greatness that is the Fighting's final. And, I'm prepared to pay that price. So soak me in while you can, because you're going to have to go without me on the final word for a while. You'll be seeing me all weekend. Let's get that straight. It ain't like I'm going anywhere. You're going to be seeing me tomorrow. You're going to be seeing me Saturday. And you're going to be seeing me Sunday, just not on this show. So the final word is definitely going to get a little bit of a break. I don't know if that's the right word, but we're going to kind of throttle in a different direction with the final word as baseball season is upon us. So we're going to take this last night of this broadcast week to do it right, to get you ready for the opening day of baseball season tomorrow, Phillies and Rangers. All topics related to the Philadelphia Phillies are on the table. If you want to talk about the manager, you want to talk about the lack of or the potential lack of the offense, you want to talk about potential pitching problems, i.e. depth, whatever. You want to talk about the goings and comings of Citizen Bank Park tomorrow for those that might be heading down to opening day festivities. I have never, ever, ever been in my 52 plus years on this planet to an opening day or a home opener, either one, at Citizen Bank Park / Veterans Stadium. I've never been. I've never made it. It's a bucket list thing. I don't know how that's happened, how I've missed opening day and never went to one, but I've never been there. So for those that might be in attendance, or for those who have already attended a past opening day, please regale me up with your story, because I want to hear about that experience, because there's nothing better. I mean, opening day is opening day, and that's great. But when you can celebrate a dual opening day along with the home opener at the same time, that's paradise by the dashboard light, folks. It really is. And as I was getting ready to watch the game tonight, and by the way, for those that don't have Netflix, sorry, you're not going to be able to watch. Well, I mean, we could get into the Netflix streaming services, Peacock and Apple TV. I mean, it's growing. It ain't going away. Is there a possibility that every Major League Baseball game will end up on a streaming service at some point in the next couple of years? But for those of you that don't have Netflix and are not prepared to pay for Netflix to watch the Yankees and the Giants play, which I fully understand, I think Netflix is having 7 or 8 games this year to include the opener. But they were talking about Oracle Park out in San Francisco. That's been open since 2000. This is only the 6th opening day / home opener that the Giants have ever done. It's only the 6th time in Oracle Park's history since 2000 that the Giants have opened the season with the home opener. How's that happen, man? That's terrible. That sucks. Absolutely sucks. We've had a pretty good run of home openers here. As I recall, 2022, even though it wasn't supposed to be a home opener for those that remember 2022. The season was pushed back a week because of the strike. They ended up making up those games of the first week as part of like scheduled doubleheaders throughout the rest of the season. But the Phillies were not supposed to start at home that year. They were supposed to start out on the road against the Nationals. But because we lost that first weeks of games, they opened up at home against the A's. And then in 23, it was on the road against the Rangers. Then 24, it was back home again against the Braves. Last year, it was on the road against the Nationals. And, of course, this year, we're back at home against the Rangers. So that's 3 opening days we've had since 2022 to start the season. And the Giants have had 6 home openers, season openers, since 2000. Man, I'd be a little pissed off, man. Would they try to? Does that thing fly in a place like Philadelphia? Does that fly in a venue like Philadelphia, Boston, New York? Could they even get away with that in places like that? Or is it because it's San Francisco they can get away with that? Because the people just don't care. But that's a shame. That's an absolute shame. So congratulations to the Giants for finally getting a home opener. But yeah, the Phillies conversation is on deck tonight. We're going to talk some Phillies. We're going to do what we have to do and be what we have to be. So make sure you are tuning in and chiming in with some comments. We're also going to get back to our ill-fated of the night segment that we have not done at all this week. I owe you an of the night, and it's going to happen tonight, as well as a card review segment that will happen tonight too. So we're going to cross all the I's and dot all the T's today as we go out into the great unknown. In style. Star Wars checks in, says Judge 0 for 4 with the strikeout. First 2 at bats. Actually, Judge is 0 for 4. He's striking out 4 times. Yeah, I saw the first 2. First 2 strikeouts I saw. Caught looking. Oh, the first one was a swinging strike, and then the second one was a caught looking one. Yeah, he ain't looking good. His ineptitude is definitely carried over. I hope the hell that's not indicative of the others from the Team USA squad tomorrow. His teammates are picking him up. Elephant checks in, super pumped for tomorrow. I agree. And there's nothing like opening day. There's nothing like it on the face of the earth. I really believe somebody needs to start a petition to get it to a national holiday where it belongs. I don't know why we've never done that as a country. It should be a federal holiday. There should be no work or school tomorrow around this country to enjoy the festivities that is opening day. Buy Stubbs. Not so fast, Star Wars. So yes, the Garrett Stubbs drama has ended. The Phillies were very vocal and not keeping it quiet at all that coming out of Clearwater, Stubbs was not going to make this team and that they were actively going to try to trade him and get some sort of value before having to ultimately DFA him. Now, I don't know about you. I wasn't really holding my breath that Garrett Stubbs was actually going to bring any value back. Hell, if they couldn't get anything for Castellanos or Bohm, the hell do you think you're going to get for Garrett Stubbs? So Garrett Stubbs was not able to be traded. So he was DFA'd by the Phillies today. He will go through the waiver process. Now, if he does not get claimed, he will default back to the Phillies. Now, because he's a veteran, he has the option here to accept a reassignment from the Phillies and go back down to AAA with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs or elect for outright free agency. So Garrett Stubbs does have that opportunity to take outright free agency to try to link on with somebody else. I pray to God that that's what happens. I pray to God that either A, somebody signs him, or B, he elects free agency when he doesn't get signed. Because I don't need to see this guy around here anymore. And so Garrett Stubbs is definitely on his way out of town. Are you upset about that, Star Wars? I know I'm not. God damn it. But all right. So before we get rolling here on the program with your day in Philadelphia sports history, let's remind everybody about the comings and goings for the rest of this week. Tonight you had the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. You have me tomorrow. A big day here on the network. Starting at around 12:50. That's it's not going to be quite at 1 o'clock, but around 12:50, we will replay our Fighting's Final Phillies preview show that we did on Sunday. That'll air at around 12:50 tomorrow to get you set and get you ready for Phillies Rangers at around 3 o'clock. And then immediately following the final pitch down there at Citizens Bank Park, myself and Big Al will have you on the first Fighting's Final post-game show of the 2026 season tomorrow evening, 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere in that area. And then a little bit later on tomorrow night, Mike Laro will be back for the Flyers Blackhawk Clear the Ice show. Tomorrow, Big Al will have you on the Philly Friday Frenzy. And then on Saturday, we do it all. We get the post-game machine rolling again. The best of the It's a Wrap Sports for the week, starting at 8 a.m. And then Phillies Rangers post-game and Flyers Red Wings post-game. I will be on the call for the Flyers Red Wings post-game, and it will be Mike Laro taking the Fighting's Final on Saturday. And on Sunday, Philly AM Sports post-game Phillies Rangers, which will be me, and the Flyers Stars post-game, which will be once again Mike Laro. So a very full active weekend here on the network that we haven't had in a while. It's good to shake off those winter cobwebs as we're back at it. And in case you have not seen it yet, here it is one last time, or not one last time, but one more time. Your Fighting's Final schedule for tomorrow. Me and Al will have the dual responsibility of kicking off the 2026 season. Mike Laro will be on Saturday. I will be back on Sunday. For the Clear the Ice people, for the Flyers fans out there still holding on hope, Mike has you tomorrow, or Mike has you, tomorrow night for the Chicago Blackhawks. I have you on Saturday, and Mike will be back on Sunday for the Dallas Stars. So an active week indeed here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, as we're definitely getting into that time of the year. Feels great. I'm not. Life is like a baseball game. Got to keep your eye on the ball. Okay. I think Star Wars is giving his vote of approval not to bring Garrett Stubbs back, and I 100% agree with you. So let's get ready here. Let's get going with your day in Philadelphia sports history. So let's strap it in, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go. Your day in Philadelphia sports history on this day in 1981. The Phillies swapped broadcasters with the Atlanta Braves. Sort of. When the Phillies traded rookie and former third-round draft pick Bob Walk to the Braves for Gary Matthews, they got more than just 3 years of playing service from the colorful five-tool outfielder. The Sarge went on to become a television broadcaster for the Phils, while Bob Walk, a 10-year veteran of the Pittsburgh Pirates after a trade from Atlanta in 83, is the longtime analyst for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So in a roundabout way, the Phillies and the Braves. I mean, talking about reaching for a day in Philadelphia sports history. Bob Walk, who had his claim to fame with the Phillies in 1980, was a rookie in that World Series team. Pitched well down the stretch of the 80 season. But that was it. Never really kind of, caught on with the Phillies after that. They moved him. Then the Braves moved him to Pittsburgh, where he actually found a home and is still residing and, still working for the Pirates. And, of course, Gary Matthews. I think didn't the Phillies trade him to the Cubs at one point, and then he came back, retired, and then was a broadcaster for the Phillies for a little bit. So there you have it, your day in Philadelphia sports history. The Phillies and Pirates trade broadcasters, and that was brought to you by the good folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, who present programs like the Gridiron Weekly. It's hard. Listen, and for the football people out there, I do, I sympathize with you. Trust me, I do. It's hard sometimes to talk about football this time of the year. The draft is coming, though. There's definitely conversation to be had, but with baseball sort of right here in the crosshairs, it's tough. But we are dedicated here. We will be presenting football coverage and content all season, off season long. And before you know it, we'll be back around to the fall and back around to the Eagles and back around to football. So, but in the meantime, make sure you're checking out the Gridiron Weekly here every Tuesday at 6 on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So gotta tune in. Joe Al's checking in saying, "What's up, man? Hi, Joe. How are you?" Yeah, the phone lines will open tonight here in about a second. But our lead story tonight, of course, is opening day is in full bloom. Or in bloom, not full bloom. It's too early in the year to have something full bloom, but it's in bloom. We got one game happening as we speak. It is now, I think it's still 7-0. The Yankees are on top of the Giants, and tomorrow the majority of baseball will get going minus, I think, 6 teams won't be playing tomorrow. And 2 of those 6 will be the Giants and the Yankees, I think. And then on Friday, so anyway, it started. And as we sit here about 17 hours away from the Phillies opener, some of the things that you can expect tomorrow down at Citizen Bank Park, if we had to have a crystal ball and we're going to look ahead at what the sights, sounds, smells are going to be tomorrow, what are they? And I'm going to start you off with the first one. We got a flag going up tomorrow, right? The 2025 NL East Championship banner will be raised, or flag will go up as the player. Now, I know when they won the World Series in 2008, they had the team raise up the flag. Again, speaking from a person who's not been to many or any Phillies opening games, home openers, does the team raise all the flags, or is it just the World Series championship? But they're going to raise a new flag tomorrow, the 2025 NL East championship flag, to go along to sit next to the 2024 NL East championship flag. As the team will what? They'll enter through right center field as they typically do and walk through the long line of adoring fans who will be giving them high fives as they move down to the dugout. That's a cool tradition. I ain't gonna lie. That's awesome, man. How do you get to become one of those people that go on the field? You got to pay for that. But I love to do that. I love to do that and heckle them at the same time. Let's go. Not elite. Come on, let's go, baby. Not elite, kid. Come on. Yeah, that'd be fun. that would be fun. But then we're going to get the season going. What's the uniforms tomorrow, right? 3:00 start. It's a Wednesday or Thursday. So typically by the Thursday mantra, is it the powder blues? Are we going with powder blues to start the season? That's the Thursday uniform, correct? The Thursday home uniform is the powder blues. I thought that the tradition was, regardless of the day of week or time of day, they always start the season in pinstripes. And that should be the tradition. If it's not, it needs to be. There's plenty of time for the gimmick uniforms throughout the year. I don't care to see them in powder blues tomorrow. I care to see them in red and white pinstripes. The traditional home uniforms need to be what they start the season in. And again, but by the Phillies uniform calendar, tomorrow's a Thursday. The Thursday home uniform is the powder blue old road uniforms. I hope that's not what they're doing. And as we creep closer to our first Friday night game, one of my deepest, darkest fears about the 2026 Phillies is about to be revealed and confirmed. They're not changing the City Connects, are they? They're not changing those god-awful black, blue, and yellow nightmare uniforms. And I got a lot wrong with that. Major League Baseball is giving you an out clause every 2 years. One, get more money. Who doesn't like new uniforms? It's a cash grab. You can make another couple $1 million selling the replica stuff. 2, it acknowledges that was an extremely ill-conceived concept and design. But as far as I know, they're not changing them. Don't the fans have a say in it, or shouldn't the fans have a say in this? Should there be a citywide vote changing the city when you're able to change them, right? Every 2 years, MLB says you can change those things. Shouldn't the fans have a say in what the team does? And even if we don't have a say in it, who in the hell wants them anymore? Is there somebody out there that says those things are nice? That those uniforms represent this baseball team? They are so off-brand. They are so off of what the Phillies are. And I'm not just talking about the colors. I'm just talking about the whole design. It just doesn't work for the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies are one of the oldest franchises in all of baseball. You should pattern any sort of gimmick uniform to the nostalgia of the team. I'm not saying you can't use the city colors, right? But it shouldn't be this futuristic Gestapo look. I mean, it's terrible uniforms. But as far as I know, they're not changing them unless they're keeping it a secret, which would be amazing and I'd be 100% happy about. But I have not heard anything to confirm that they're switching City Connects. And how do you feel about that? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Elvis says you went to open day against Albert Pujols Cardinals back in the day, got our butts whooped and weather was crap. But I bet you had a great time, didn't you, Elephant? I know I would have. I still got, if stop batting still fifth or if March, which I read could happen. Yeah, again, our little tirade the other night was preferenced with the fact that, it was Monday and that could be the starting lineup, but there was nothing set in stone. But the fact, and listen, it very well might not stop very well. He shouldn't bat fifth. I mean, I cannot believe we're having this conversation, but if stop very well won't bat fifth. All right. And I hope that happens, but there's always, it's the fact that manager actually said, there's a chance, because the word I saw the interview. Now, maybe he was referring to the way the top three in the lineup were, that he made that statement. But he did say that this looks very similar to the lineup that we might start the season with. And he said that, not me, which, of course, set me ablaze, right? But, yeah, I don't know. And I hope, as I said, I hope he does come to his senses and say that if he herds Bryson Stott out in the 5-hole, it's going to be the laughing stock of baseball. The absolute laughing stock of baseball. What's going on, Ricky? Let's go Flyers. Indeed. Embiid could have scored 83 points if you wanted to. The Eastern Conference better pray our whole team is healthy to come playoff time. The Sixers could be a tough out. Star Wars, brother. It was the Chicago Bulls. It was the Bulls, man. Dude, pump the brakes, man. Relax. It was like the Sixers were the Harlem Globetrotters and the Bulls were the Washington Generals. All right. It was the Bulls. Dude. Stop with the madness. The City Connect jersey is definitely my least favorite Phillies jersey of all time. I'm not going to go that far, Star Wars. No. You remember the all maroons, right? They brought them back for a game a couple years ago when McCutcheon was here. All the maroon tops and maroon bottoms, those were the ugliest and worst for me of all time. And there was a time back in, I think it was the late 70s, maybe early 80s, that they actually wore those for a season, I want to say, or they tried to wear them for a season, and they were so bad. But yeah, no, the City Connects are top three, hands down, top three. And it looks like we're going to have to deal with it for at least one more year. John Middleton said he changed the name to Harry DeCays because the Phillies need to make $600 million in outside revenue if he wants to spend $300 million to spend. Did he really say that? So now we've reached this point. Now we've reached this, that you got the owner or the managing partner explaining to the fans how he's coming up with money. And you're telling me that changing Harry the K concourse or the deck was I don't care if he had to raise $100 million. I mean, it's like saying I got to take the Mike Schmidt statue down out front and hang a big TikTok emblem because TikTok's paying me X amount of money to advertise. It's a tone deaf move by John Middleton. One, it's a tone deaf move to rename Harry the K anything. Two, it's a tone deaf move to announce to the fans his plan on trying to raise money. Well, why don't you just open up a lemonade stand? All right, I'll contribute to that. Or just say, listen, if we're going to go this far to start stripping away Philadelphia Philly icon personalities, players, what's next? Ashburn Alley is now going to be Netflix Alley, right? I mean, what is next? What's next? One, it's a tone-deaf move by the organization to do that to Harry Callis. Two, it's a really tone-deaf situation for him to have to announce to me or announce to the fans why he's doing it. I don't need to know your damn money problems, man. I don't care about your money problems. I care about your baseball problems, right? But I don't think we really sat and addressed this issue at all on the show. We were going to talk about it on Sunday, but we ran out of time. But yeah, it's a bad move. It's a bad look. It's an absolute terrible look by the Phillies. And a double down by John Middleton to kind of feel like he has to come out and explain himself makes it even worse. So terrible move. Yeah, the Maroons were bad, man. They were terrible. Middleton really said that. I mean, that's horrible. That's horrible. One, the whole thing is terrible, and then to explain to us that he's trying to raise money, and he's telling us his money problems. At Maxie and KO to this, watch out. Star Wars. It was the Chicago Bulls. I'll bet my life the Sixers don't get out of the first round. All right. So let's. But I like Star Wars' passion, man. He's hanging in there, man. He wants to go down swinging. We are going to open up the phone line, so let me get this thing going here. Phone lines are open. This is really a smorgasbord conversation tonight. If you guys, whatever you guys want to talk about. The main story tonight is opening day, and what are the things to expect tomorrow down there at Citizen Bank Park? We know we're going to get a new flag or banner. We know we got Harry the K's going to be called, what is it? Something energy drink deck, whatever. We know that's coming. We don't know what uniforms we're wearing. Yeah, traditionally the Phillies would go with the red pinstripes, but on opening day. But it's Thursday, and that means powder blues. So maybe we could do a little over under on what uniform we think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the pinstripes. It's got to be the pinstripes, and then they can go back to the cream on Saturday. Hang on. Is it? I know cream on Sunday, regardless of what time of the day the game is. Is the creams on Saturday only for day games? If it's a night game, they wear pinstripes on Saturdays. I think that's right. Thursdays is the powder blues, and Fridays are the City Connects. So what? Maybe they come out with the City Connects. They come right out with those things. Get everybody in the right frame of mind. Come out wearing City Connect uniforms. Bryson Stott batting fifth. And Griff McGarry getting the last minute start. Who, by the way, is back with Lehigh. I think we talked about it last night. That's the Phillies got to do. Go completely off brand. Come out swinging, man. Right? It was like what, 2024? You remember this? 2024 when they raised up the they created a new flag category for winning their wild card round in 2023. Remember that? It was the powder blue flag. It's still there. If you look out, they moved it. It used to be hanging out there with the rest of the flags, but they kind of took it and moved it off to like over by left field somewhere or over by right field, kind of hiding it behind like girders and pillars, but it's still up there. It's a lone powder blue flag that says 2023 on it. It's their wild card flag. But all right, so phone lines are open. Let's go to the phones. Joe Hal, happy opening day eve, Joe.
How are you? Yes, I was at this Sixers game because I just posted photos and tagged It's a Wrap on X.
Oh, I didn't see him, Joe. I heard something like the Sixers scored like 200 points. They went off.
They went off, and Embiid and George went off, but it was late. It was garbage points for George in the fourth, but Embiid looked good.
So do you think so? No more program losses, no more load management to the end to the push to the playoffs and beyond.
I think he's back for good.
Okay.
He looked healthy. He was driving the ball. He wasn't posting up threes. The Sixers get past the first round if they play the Pistons because Detroit's missing 2 out of 3 starters.
Well, first things first. I mean, they got to get in. Do you think they're going to get in as a straight 1 through 7, or they got to do a play-in?
They would be the 7th seed right now,
and that's play-in, right?
No, it wouldn't. Play-in is 8,
9, and 10. No, I thought play-in was 7, 8, 9, and 10.
No, play-in is 8, 9, and 10. It changed the format.
Okay.
But all of them getting a 6 seed right now.
Okay.
Which isn't surprising the way they played tonight. Yes, it's Chicago Bulls, but DJ showed Uh, um,
Can you confirm this was the link red?
yes, the link was red, and I rode past it, and they were putting up pictures of the players, and it was in pinstripes.
Oh,
So
is that what you think? Do you personally think they're going out in pinstripes?
Yeah. And the banner who's going to raise it, the flag is going to be John Middleton. There's already talk of him doing it.
So I know when they won in 08, the team raised it. Charlie Manuel and a couple of the players went out and did it. But I don't remember. Again, I wasn't there for any of this, but what I remember from it, all the other lesser flags are raised by other people.
Last year it was Schmidt.
Okay, really? I don't remember that.
I was there. Speaking of Schmidt, it's Schmidt, Ledzinski, who else? Ricky Batalico and somebody else.
And Boa.
Oh, so you know it would be cool if they did a relay.
What do you mean?
Schmidt to Boa.
Joe. Boa and Schmidt in their late 70s, early 80s, man. How much?
What
do you want them to do out there, man?
Give it to Batalica.
Batalico's a spry young man, but I don't know if Boa and Schmidt can get it around the infield, man.
Hey, you can start in the outfield dirt. You don't have to start all the way in the outfield. Because a block party, my buddy told me this. There's a block party tomorrow. They're not even going to be there yet. The Phillies aren't. They're gonna park out back and take a bus to on the side, you know what I mean? And walk the street. And that's how they did it last year.
And then get off the bus, walk the street, and walk into the stadium.
Yeah. And go down to where Aspinelli is. And the blue flag is under Carlton and Robert's name this year.
So is it out there? Is it flying by itself? There's no other flags around it?
It's just a little plaque.
So they took the flag down and put a plaque up?
Yeah, on a wall.
Okay. That says 2023 Wild Card Champions, right? Or something like that effect?
Apparently the flag that they got this year is blue. I can't confirm that.
So what I understand, and let's try to walk this through. I know red is for World Championship.
Yes.
White is for the pennant. Or is white for the division? I think white might be for the division and blue is the pennant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's white.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay.
The link was lit up red. The outside of the Xfinity Center was lit up red tonight too.
So I take it you're not partaking in opening day tomorrow?
I have to work. And then I'm going to be seeing your man, Ricky. Ricky Pots and Pans Ricky.
Are you guys going to watch the game together?
I have bowling. Of course, I'll be watching it.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Right, well, hey. You've actually experienced opening day. I have not. You have one up on me.
One of the cool giveaways.
Yeah, what is the giveaway tomorrow?
It is the pennant.
Ooh. That's nice. I like that.
You know what's cool? They're giving away Phil and Phyllis shirt.
Yeah, I heard Phil and Phyllis were back.
Yes.
Very cool stuff.
Yes. Eagles Point. They signed. Here's why A.J. Brown's staying. You ready for this? They signed his friend.
Well, so Elijah Moore is the reason why he's staying?
Yes. No, because I don't think he wants to go to the Patriots.
Is Elijah Moore bringing with him some money? I mean, blood is not thicker than money. It might be thicker than water, but it's not thicker than money.
Because he how do I put this? He rescinded his no trade. He wants to stay. He rescinded it.
Did he tell you that personally?
It was on X, but it got taken down.
You know what else was on X the other day? That he put his house up for sale, which is a complete lie. But
that's why. That is complete lie because you listen more.
But yeah, I don't blame. Listen, Joe. We got a long way to go until we get to week 1. I'm telling you, and you know it. You may feel in your bones that he's staying, but you also have a sneaky feeling that he's not.
I got a bet with you.
We do have a bet. Yeah, we got a bet. You get to host the final word for a week. I get a week off if I'm wrong.
Yeah, the final word with you, of course.
Yeah. No, I would listen. I'm going to give you the keys to the castle, man. I'm not even going to be backstage. I'm going to be gone doing my thing. You got to control all of it. You got to do everything I do for this network for a week. Not only are you going to host the show for a week, you're going to run all the promos. You're going to create all the graphics. You're going to set the calendars up. You're going to deal with Mike and Al.
Wait.
You're going to coordinate with all those people, and you're going to be MattyB for a week.
I'm cool, Kaepernick.
No, well, no, not Kaepernick. I'm talking about Mike and Al. You got to talk with Mike and Al. You got to make sure that they're doing what they got to do. You got to make sure their studios are pre-made. You got to go make sure their graphics are up to date, that their calendars are all up to date. Come on, listen. Hey, this ain't all going to be Xanadu here. You don't think I just hit the start button and go, man? There's a lot of work that goes into this.
Nah, it's all good. I love how the background is like the ball field. I want one like that. Hey Al, I'm like, how do you get that? I'm dead serious.
What when they're on live and you see the stadium behind them?
Yeah.
So in StreamYard is with the service we use to stream out over all these platforms. You can either upload your own background or there's pre-made backgrounds that you could put up into the studio as you're broadcasting to enhance the look. They have what is called a green screen behind them, and it makes it look like they're actually in there. And Joe Hale's gone. Middle of explaining the intricacies of broadcasting, and Joe just bops out on me, man. Did you hear that, Joe? Did you hear the explanation I gave?
No, because StreamYard just kicked me off.
So you can either preload your own background from a different, find something off of Google and put it in there, or StreamYard provides some pre-done stuff that you can use.
You have to
and they're sitting behind. There's a green screen behind them, and that image is enhanced when it goes on there.
I thought it was somebody in your room.
No. It's all digital, and no, they're not actually at the link or at Citizen Bank Park doing this.
Yeah, I know.
It's all digital stuff that they do. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I'll show you how it works someday.
I was talking about Flyers at a Sixers game, and mathematically they're not out of it. They have to go on a little.
No, I know, but listen, you can't afford not to get points, though. You got to get points in every game.
I think they get the point tomorrow to continue this show. The final.
We'll see. The show's on a week-to-week basis.
But how many games are left? I heard 15.
12.
Oh, somebody said 16.
No, they've played 70.
Okay.
They got 12 left. So 12 times 2 is 24. 24 is what? 94? If that's what I don't think 94 does it. I think 96 does it.
The loss.
Realistically, I think 96 does it. 94 puts them in the ballpark, but that's them winning the next 12 games.
They have to catch Boston.
And got to catch Boston, Columbus, Ottawa. They got to catch a lot of people.
Boston's the final wild card.
Yeah, well, they got to pass everybody too. Joe, listen, you're right. Mathematically, there's still a chance, but the realization is, last night hurt. If they don't win tomorrow, it's really going to hurt. And if they don't come out of this week with points, it's adios. We're done.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. But
so,
Joe, I want to say good night because we got a few other people waiting. And
Kaepernick, shout you out. Ricky, shout you out. I got you.
So we will not be back again until I think Wednesday is the next final word. A lot of post-game stuff.
Well,
Tuesday, maybe it's Tuesday, I think.
It's Tuesday. He can open the phone for us on Friday because there's no show. There's no game.
Al's going to be doing a show on Friday.
I'll open the phone lines for us. Thank you.
Yeah. And then they'll be back on Sunday with their show. Do they do phone calls on that?
No, I want them to. It would be cool, but they don't have time. They said.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much time right now, if we give, 4 hours, that's a long show, especially at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, said pull open the phone lines for me and Paprnik and whoever wants to call in.
It's going to be some reaction going on. Don't forget, tomorrow, me and Al will be back for the Fighting's final. No phone lines for the post-game show.
So what time is Mike coming on tomorrow? Or is it going to be
Flyers post-game whenever the game ends?
So you and him could be at the same time. No, never mind.
No, Phillies game's going to be over around 6. Flyers game will be over around, 11, 10?
Because Flyers start at, Phillies start at 4.
Yeah. 3.
No, 4.
That was 3.
I heard 4 o'clock.
Let's take a look.
On NBC 10. Unless I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, 4:15.
Okay.
All right.
And new rules. Double headers only last 7 innings. Ghost runner is back again. Just announced.
Double headers only last 7 innings.
Yes.
Since when did they go back to that?
This year. It was just announced. And the ghost runners are back.
Well, Ghost Runners didn't go anywhere. But they did go. They did get away from the 7 innings, and they went back to 9.
No, they just announced. And one more thing. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
It's rib day when Wheeler pitches. All you can eat ribs at Pigs.
Is that the giveaway? Ribs?
No, it's all you can eat ribs.
Is there a giveaway? Have you checked that out?
No, I should, but it's funny. Get it, ribs? Lost one.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they went more for the pork thing than the dig at Zach Wheeler's rib problem.
I should ask somebody at there when I get up there just to be a dumbass.
So the Pigs are really they wear the Bacon County or Bacon Country USA shirts throughout the year. They got numerous different types of hats. They got a hat with a piece of scrapple on it. I mean, they really have fun with that whole thing. That's pretty cool. I like that.
And I will talk to you next week. Go Phillies.
Next week, let's go Phillies. All right, Joe. Have a good rest of your weekend. That's interesting. I wasn't tracking that they were going back to 7-inning doubleheaders. I'm gonna verify that. I know they never got rid of the ghost runners. I knew that. Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out. All right. Eagles going to have a bet. Well, what NFC East? Is there a ceremony for that? I don't think there's a ceremony for that, is there? Or are you talking about what's going to happen in 2026? Star Wars getting amped up for the Eagles the day before the Phillies open up. And it's all good. But yeah, I know they got the NFCs, but that's not a banner. Isn't that more like a sign? They don't really use flags at the link. They use signs, right? But NFC East, not NL East. Eagles don't play in the NL East. Phillies do. All right, let's go back to the phones. My main man, Ricky. Let's go Phillies, Ricky. Or let's go Flyers.
And go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers, Ricky. Ricky, are you excited about opening day tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to watch the game?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Opening day is a special day, Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, the Flyers, 80 points, 12 games left. That leaves them with 94 possible points if they win every single game they have remaining. I say 96 points is going to get you in the playoffs. I know the Flyers are mathematically alive, but they would have to run the table here, Ricky. I'm not saying they got to go undefeated, but they sure as hell got to go close to it. Can they do it? Ricky says they can. I don't know, Ricky. It didn't look like that last night as the Flyers went back into their offensive doldrums and their defensive lapses. And whenever you're going to let Zach Werenski walk right up into the slot unmolested to take a shot, I got concerns about your defense, Ricky. I don't know, man. I know a lot of Flyers fans are really, really hoping they get into the playoffs. I really don't. I don't want them in the playoffs, Ricky. I want a higher draft pick because the playoffs to me mean nothing other than the fact that, of course, no other Flyers franchise has not made the playoffs for 6 straight years. But other than that, Ricky, I don't care. I don't care. All right, Ricky, listen, opening day tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Fighting's final. Ricky, make sure you're back tuned in to the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Joe says you and him are bowling tomorrow. Is that true?
Thank you so much.
Ricky? Oh, you're okay. So good luck bowling tomorrow. I hope you bowl a 300. Is that right? And I hope you're back tomorrow night for the post-game show. Have a good night, Ricky Deal, my main man. My main man. Ricky Deal and Joe Hale will be bowling during the Phillies game and watching, I assume. Yeah, Scott Kingerly made the Cubs, made the roster because what's his name is starting the season out on the IL. Shoguri, the Korean player, young player for them, starting out the season in the IL. There was a spot to be had, and Scott Kingery jumped all over it, and he will start the season. I guarantee you, he will not end the season on the Chicago Cubs active roster, but at least he gets his return to the. Well, not return. I mean, he's sort of been toiling around in different organizations over the last few years. I know I saw him surface in Anaheim with the Angels. Was he in Colorado as well at one point? I know he's been bouncing around, but now he's gets his chance to go and play for the Cubs and back on an opening day roster. Good for him. Good for Scott Kingery. What's my prediction for tomorrow, score-wise? That's a good question. So, we didn't really talk about the flow of tomorrow's game and how I see it happening. Are the Phillies is it going to be indicative of how they've been over the last year? Is Evaldi going to come out and sort of start mowing them down? Is it going to take the Phillies 6 innings and get to the Nationals, get to the Rangers bullpen in order for the offense to start going? Can Sanchez come out the gates and put his spring problems behind him? People are forgetting Sanchez had a terrible spring. He got lit up in the WBC. In both his starts, he got tore up out there. So, you know what? I'm going to go on the safe side. 6-4 Rangers. Yeah. I think the Phillies lose tomorrow. I think they lose 6-4. So 10 runs. I think that's pretty fair. But all right, so now let's, with the Flyers in mind, because, I want to make sure that I pay some attention, and let's get into the of the night segment, because good God knows I've been avoiding it all week. Haven't had the opportunity, but let's get into it now. As reported, the Flyers have added a multitude of new young prospects over the last, and I don't even mean the internal ones, like the college players or the junior hockey players that they've signed to their ELCs. Knubel was one, Powell was one. There was one that just signed, Chernik. He was another one that they signed. These are all internal prospects that are controlled by the team. But they went outside the organization through trades and got a few different players over the week. So I want to go through it real quick, and then we'll get back to the phone lines. But I've been avoiding the of the night segment, but no more, because here we go. Yeah, we're going to take a break from the normal. I mean, we're into draft breakdown season right now. We've been talking MLB, NHL draft, but we're going to go right back into Flyers prospects, a segment that we've wrapped up, that I thought we wrapped up months ago. But because the Flyers have been very active in adding some prospects, I got to go ahead and give them their proper introduction, at least this year. because I'm not sure if any of them or some of them will be around next year. Most of them should still be here next year. So let's get into it, and let's introduce you to the Flyers' newest additions, prospect-wise. I guess we can start off with Jackson Edward, who's currently with the Phantoms. He was a former 2022 7th-round pick of the Boston Bruins. He is a left-handed defenseman. Physical style of Edwards' game leaps out immediately. He's violent, and he uses that violence to emphatically kill plays, at the blue line and end cycle. If given space while receiving the puck, Edward often makes a positive play. He'll even draw in forechecking press shore by skating towards in or cutting back, then hitting the gas pedal before starting the breakout. So another potential defenseman. We can never have enough of these guys. We're really trying to figure out the secret sauce for our decor. And Jackson Edwards fits that mold. 6'2", 201. I can live with that for defensemen at this day and age in the National Hockey League. So a nice little add-on there. Somebody that they can kind of stash away in the High Valley and sort of continue his developmental process. 2002 is not 4 years AHL. I mean, for a 7th-round pick or a former 7th-round pick, that's still something I can wrap my head around. That is still something that I could say, you know what, he could potentially still make it in the NHL. Now, he's running out of time. I will give you that. But, a couple things go right for him. Maybe somebody gets hurt. He gets an opportunity to shine. Maybe this summer in the developmental camp, he comes out and turns a few heads. Who knows? But Jackson Edward is one of our new prospects that the Flyers recently added. Let's keep it going with Brett Harrison, the center winger from a 6'3", 201-pound former 3rd-round pick in 2021 of the Boston Bruins. He hunts pockets of space and loves the trail behind the play to receive drop passes and fire from the top of the circle. He can win most battles throughout his reach and stature. He is also currently with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. This guy's a little bit more on the outside fringes of being considered a prospect. He's trending more towards, just a professional hockey player, maybe not NHL-wise, but again, another body, somebody else you have some options to kind of work in with, especially when it comes to dealing with younger players at the lower level. He can kind of sit in that role as veteran mentor. And he provides, again, some height. I don't know if you've noticed this, and I have over the past few years, especially with Danny B at the helm of these personnel moves. He doesn't like smaller players, and I really enjoy that. And that was something Chuck Fletcher didn't seem to have an issue with, but drafting or acquiring players around 6 foot or smaller, and somewhere in the range of the 180, 190 pound threshold. But a 6'3", 201-pound center, I can wrap my head around that. Absolutely, that's a big kid, and that's what I'm looking for. So keep an eye on Danny B, and next time you see him, or next time you take a look inside the Flyer prospect pool or inside of a minor league roster, either through the Phantoms or the Reading Royals, take a look at some of the height and weight dimensions of some of these kids, man. They're starting to get bigger, and that's okay with me. And now on to our prize pick of the prospect sort of rejuvenation pool of this year, and that's David Urich, the right-handed defenseman, former 1st-round pick from the Columbus Blue Jackets of 2022, the Cutter Gauthier draft year. Matter of fact, I think he was taken, 9th, 10th overall, like a couple picks after Gauthier by Columbus. Things did not work out for him in Columbus. He was dealing with a catastrophic injury he suffered the fall after his draft year. Sort of kind of took him a while to battle back from that. Fell out of favor with Columbus, was sent on to the Minnesota Wild. Was part of a big trade involving him with the Wild. Did not work out with the Wild either. Now, some are blaming the Wild for improperly developing him or not handling his situation correctly. So he fell out of favor with the Wild, and he was part of the trade that sent Bobby Brink to Minnesota. This is not, I think the Flyers are hoping they can catch lightning in the bottle here This is definitely not a. I don't think the Flyers are viewing this as a prospect move. This is, I think, someone they're hoping that can be a contributor to this hockey team. And again, he's that unicorn, that right-handed defenseman, that right-handed shot where you can never have enough of these guys. And as I said, a former first-round pick in the 2022 draft by the Blue Jackets. He worked mainly defensively. I had no problem clearing the defensive zone, and under pressure from forecheckers, he was able to bring calm even in a very difficult situation. He uses range again in battles for loose pucks or battles along the boards. His constant scanning minimized the danger in the defensive zone, which was the biggest strength in his game. 6'3", 209 pounds. So again, sort of trending with that bigger stature player, which I think hockey is going back towards. I think we're moving back into more of a physical, and it's not the goonery of the 90s, and we're not going there, but I think hockey teams are gearing themselves up more towards bigger, stronger players. I think the finesse era, the Danny B era, the Martin St. Louis era of smaller, faster players, not that it's phasing out. There's always going to be a place for them. But I think we're gearing more towards more of a physical style here. And Uric definitely helps the Flyers out in that case. As I said, I don't think he's a prospect. He's someone the Flyers are hoping they can bank on. And he is currently down in Lehigh. He's been tearing it apart, apparently, in Lehigh since he's been down there. And does he get an opportunity at some point this season to play with the Flyers? Potentially, yes. Does he get a long, hard look next summer? 100% yes. I think the Flyers are banking on him to be part of a rotation at some point very soon. And finally, let's wrap it up with Boris Katchouk. Now, this guy, I can't pretend to tell you this guy's a prospect. He is a former second-round pick in the 2016 draft by the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is not a prospect, but I gave him his due because he's part of a whole bunch of new players that came in. He's currently back down with the Phantoms as well. He's a well-rounded forward with decent size and good offensive instincts. He does everything well, but not one thing great. He's got good speed and generates a good amount of offense. He's not overly physical, but will also not shy away. So let's not sort of split hairs with this guy. He is he's a camp body and he's a career minor leaguer. But we need those. You really do. Those guys actually help. They have a place, especially personally with them. I mean, this is a guy that knows he's probably never, ever going to catch on in the NHL. He's going to have he's had his opportunities. He might have a couple more. When someone gets hurt, he goes up, whatever. But the fact that he can go out every fall and make maybe close to $1 million a year doing what he loves, and that's play hockey. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't mind it at all, personally. So there you have it. There is our new prospects, our new additions to the Flyer prospect pool. And it was high tide that I gave them their due and gave them their proper introduction. So finally got through that. I feel vindicated. I feel good. I can sleep. So I hope you enjoy that, and hopefully the Flyers can utilize some of those young players here very soon. There is Michael Lara will have you on Flyers postgame tomorrow night. So let's head back to the phones. Michael Papernick standing by. Michael Papernick, happy opening day eve.
Yo, what up, Matty? I'm mobile right now, so I'm on the go with you, man. I'm on my way home from work.
Am I in the car? Am I being? Can you hear me?
No, I got the headset on. My son, he picked me up. That's all. No, but
I want to be on the car's radio. I want to be on the car's audio center. Come on, man. I want to be heard throughout the car.
Listen, so Middleton actually said that. And
that's terrible.
I think
terrible.
I think I sent it to you. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. They switched it to some brewery or I don't know or something.
No, it's an energy drink. It's an energy
drink. There it is. Yeah, and he said, I think I sent you the article or something. I'm not sure if I did, but I read it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, he's like, yeah, we have to get sponsors to we want to spend money. Dude, you're a billionaire. This is just a hobby to you. Like, you know, like, I don't know.
I don't want to hear about your money problems, John Middleton. All right, that's not my concern. My concern is watching what you put on the field. Your concern is, listen, Kaepernick. It's like I said when you first posted that message. It's like taking the Mike Schmidt statue down out front and putting up like a Netflix logo or a TikTok logo. There's just some things you don't do. There's some things you don't do, Kaepernick.
They what they should have done was moved it. You know what I mean? If they were going to do it, okay, maybe they do something else. I don't know. Did they take the statue down? I didn't take the statue down, right?
No, the statue's not down. But they took the name off the deck.
Yeah, it's just so wrong. But all right, so I guess we'll find out tomorrow if Stott or Marsh is batting fifth, right?
yeah. We've waited with bated breath. See what they does. I mean, I hope that that was when he made those comments about that lineup. I hope it was specifically about the top three. Not that I'm happy about that, but I can get by with that more than I can with Stott batting fifth.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Well, I don't want Marsh batting fifth either.
No, I don't want Marsh batting. It should be Marsh 7, Stott 8, or Stott 7, Marsh 8. That's what it should be.
No. The lineup should be Turner, the Harper 2, Schwarber, Garcia, Baum 5, 6, Marsh, 7, JT, then Stott, and then Crawford. That's my lineup if I was going to do it. I mean, it's just wild that they're not looking as Garcia to protect Harper. I mean, the guy's hit 30-some home runs a couple times in his career. It just don't make no sense to me. But again, that's why I picked third place, because Robbie is that's the X factor right there. I don't care what all the Braves injuries. That dude's going to bumble his way to screwing this up.
And that's one point of this whole team that we really didn't spend much time on this show or any of the other shows that I've seen or been on or done really getting into, is that we talked in ad nauseam about the pitching and the offense and all the problems they have there, but we never really got into the, as you mentioned, the Rob Thompson X factor. And it's a legitimate X factor. It's an X factor that has reared its ugly head in the playoffs every single season he's been here, to include the World Series year. I haven't forgotten about Zach Wheeler in Game 6. That's a good point. Is how many games are the Phillies going to lose because of Rob Thompson? They're good for what? What do you say, Patrick? 25 a year?
Yeah, maybe it might be more this year. I'm picking him to win only I know, seriously. I think it's going to implode. I think Harper's going to get frustrated with not having nobody protecting him. That elite thing is going to come out. I think that's all going to implode. I think it is. I think it's going to. I think they win 83 games. I mean, 81, third place. Somewhere
is that enough to get into the playoffs?
Listen. Look. That's my brain telling me this. You know, my heart wants to see the Phillies win it all. My brain's like, it ain't happening. Like, and then I read this article that I think I sent it to you. Oh, there's a bunch of reasons this team is like, there's no pressure on them. Yeah, there's pressure.
There's a lot of pressure on them.
Let me see. 300 million, 300 million, 150 million, 172 million.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all, man. Who the hell's writing that? Woo. They ain't been paying attention. There should be, the weight of the world should be on that team this year.
On paper, listen, is there on paper they're a World Series team? I just don't. I don't see it, because you got Otto Kemp backing up outfield. If something happens to Marsh, I mean, you got to bring up who you got to bring. You got to bring somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Just you got a guy who's never played the outfield. He's played it a handful of times last year, maybe 2, maybe 10. That's the problem. I mean, they want to make these guys super utility guys instead of just like, well, why can't we have our Greg Gross who can play the outfield? You know what I mean? Or Del Unser, or you see wrong, or an outfielder who can play that position. Yeah. It's like okay, we'll bring Rhys Hoskins back. One of the ideas of bringing him back was, maybe he could platoon in the outfield. No, I don't want to see him.
We tried that once before, and it didn't work.
Well, that's my point. And then, I get it. I get it. Otto Kemp. He's a good story. And he's a role player, and that's where he belongs. But when they take Crawford out, that means Marsh has to play center field. Kemp's going to have to play left. So you see where I'm going with it? Like, it gets worse. In my opinion.
It could be a problem. It could be a problem. But listen, as I said, you're bringing up some defensive issues that could potentially come from that. I get that. But I also can see where the Phillies are rolling their dice a little bit on that. And I think this is sort of the right way to look at it. Now, I don't know. I don't know how you would take this, but does Otto Kemp give you the best offensive possibilities than any of the other, say, minor league players right now, or any of the other free agents they could have potentially brought in here? That's where I think they're looking mainly at. And I don't know if that answer is yes or no. Okay.
If he's not starting, what kind of numbers can Gilbert Francones Jr., who's a power hitter, give you?
Yeah. No, I see. Again, I understand that.
That's what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Now, Raconis is hurt, or allegedly hurt. I didn't know when he got hurt, but he's going to start the season out on IL. Maybe the Phillies were looking at, because they mentioned Raconis' name a bunch of times in the offseason about really giving him a look at an opportunity to win a spot. So maybe the injury slowed that down, and they sort of defaulted back to Otto Kemp. I don't know, but it had that. That's part of the game too.
Look, I like Otto Kemp, and I understand you can't have stars at every position. I'm not looking at that. I'm just saying, as a backup, like, seriously, like, Sosa could play the outfield. So why couldn't they just have an extra outfielder? You know why this is why they have Otto Kemp. You ready? Because when Sosa plays second base, they can always sit bomb and put Kemp over there.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. I mean, it's a wonder they ain't got Kemp learning how to play third base. Second base and all that other. I mean, like,
you might see him out there at some point. Who knows?
And I like Kemp, but
why?
Think about this. The bench players. Who's your bench? It's Marchand, Sosa, Kemp. They're the three bench players, right?
And Dylan Moore.
Wow. So in the bottom of the ninth, did any of them scare you?
No, but they don't. Okay. But they scare me less than Jay Cave did.
No, yeah. But here's what I'm saying: Rhys Hoskins signed with They couldn't bring Rhys back as the power bat off the thing, and check this out. He could play first base. Bryce could DH, and you still got power in the lineup. I
didn't want Rhys back here. Nah. I know what you're saying. A power bat off the bench, but Rhys Hoskins is the epitome of a streaky hitter, and I honestly think he needs to play every day to get any kind of thing out of him. And if you're trying to bring him in cold off the bench, I don't think that's a good idea. I personally.
Well, do you know he was the last guy to hit 30 home runs behind Harper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, I'm just saying. I always go back to Uncle Charlie with Matt Stairs. What's Matt Stairs' job? Somebody has hit home runs. That's all it is. Go up there, hit a home run. Look. Is he going to do it all the time? No. But if it's the bottom of ninth, bases loaded, one out, and Rafael Marchand's up there, I'm not saying that they can't get a hit, but this, like, it ain't. I don't know. It just. I think they missed that. I think they need that. But Dylan Moore's hurt, ain't he?
No, I don't think so.
I could have swore he was hurt. They said he hurt his foot or something. It was something the other day.
I think he made the roster. I'm positive he made the roster.
Wait, the bigger question is this: Did any other buffoon, moronic general manager trade for Party Boy Garrett Stubbs?
No, he was officially DFA'd. He'll go through the waiver process, and then if he gets claimed, he's gone. Doesn't get claimed, he can accept the assignment to Lehigh or elect for outright free agency.
Well, he has a two-way contract, so he'll probably go back to Lehigh.
Well, or he could just say, "I want to be a free agent," because he's got that veteran option.
Why would he do that? He knows if he
You
goes back
don't
to
think anyone's
Lehigh.
gonna sign him? Come on,
No,
we're not the only ones, are we?
Yeah, listen, I told you a couple days ago, we couldn't trade Alec Baum. What makes everybody think somebody's going to go and trade for this guy?
I heard Jim Salisbury and Ruben Amaro talking about that on their Phillies show the other day, and Ruben was spending a lot of time. Now, Ruben obviously was maybe the worst GM we ever had here, but Ruben spent about a good 5 minutes in-depthly speaking about how the Phillies could trade Garrett Stubbs along with a mid-level prospect for some starting pitching depth.
Well, you know what? You have to give up that. Well, here it is. You have, but he's saying mid-level. Well, that means Double A. That means they're gonna want some decent pitcher from Double A or Single A or whatever.
They want Dante Nori to go along with.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah. You know, you're gonna have to give up something. Yeah. Sure, they'll take Stubbs. Yeah, but you gotta give us. You gotta give us your number 25 prospect in there. Like Stubbs is not. It's like number 150. You want us to give a 20. That's the whole thing with that. No, but I think he'll be back with the Phillies. I mean, you know what he's going to be one day. He's going to be a manager.
Yeah, probably a good one too.
He'll probably be a decent one. It'll probably be. I mean, now, well, hold on one second. Now, he might be a decent one, but if he's using Rob as the example, yeah, well.
We'll see about that. Yeah, I don't know about the Rob Thompson coaching tree. Is that even something?
I don't even like it. I can't believe you even said Rob Thompson. I can't believe you put coaching tree with Rob Thompson. But that's like saying coaching tree to Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that's like I said before. I think I asked you this question. Out of all the coaches, all the Sixers, the Flyers, who's the one coach that you would trust making a legitimate move without any analytics involved?
Like using their gut?
Yeah. I can X one guy off there.
Rick Tocchet. That's my answer.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I think you said it before. Somebody said NHL head coaches, they don't sugarcoat things with their players.
No,
they don't. I mean, they'll call them fat. They'll call them lazy. Yeah. They'll call them all kinds of names. Man, if you did that to baseball or a football or an NBA player, you're fired the next day, probably within the next month. You're gone. I mean, these guys get away with everything down there in hockey. But it's look. Like I was telling you the other day, maybe this might be a good year. Whether the Phillies win or lose, if they lose, look, Robbie's going to probably be gone, hopefully. And if the Eagles season shits the bucket, I'll get my wish for that moron to be gone too. And in 2027, look. I'll be a happy camper just knowing there might be some real people running teams. You know, that's now my luck. Probably shit, but you know.
I don't know how much worse it can get than Rob Thompson and Nick Sirianni, but I don't want to find out. Papernick, listen, man, I'm gonna roll. Don't forget, we're not back, I think, until Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, I think, is when we're back. So remember that. Peppernick, you there? Peppernick. All right, I lost him. Mike, I lost you. Have a good weekend, Peppernick, and we'll talk next week. He's right. He's right. Got to say when the man's right. Absolutely. And that's another thing we didn't really get into depth about Rob Thompson, about what the Rob Thompson X factor is about this baseball team and how many games he might cost us in the long run. I think maybe I should keep that stat, but it'll be MattyB's personal objectives. Well, I guess it would be subjective stat on how many games I think Rob Thompson managed us into defeat by making a critical, stupid move in a game where he should have made the obvious move, but went with some sort of analytical nonsense. That'd be kind of hard because I would get frustrated and pissed off and start blaming him for everything. And I don't know if I can stay objective about this. So maybe we won't go there, but we'll definitely talk about it when it does happen. I'm sure we will. But yeah, we are here. We are at the precipice, and the first game of the 2026 MLB season is in the books. The Yankees all over the Giants 7-0 as they get their season started. The Yankees do with the big win, huge emphatic win over the Giants. Max Fried looked really good. Thank God he's no longer in the National League. Now, before we go into the card segment, I do want to ask, I'm going to give you guys a little treat here. I'm going to give you MattyB's top 3 storylines, potential storylines for the 2026 Phillies. These are headlines of things that could happen in 2026. This is something that I sat down and I worked it out, did what I had to do, and I came up with my top 3 storylines of 2026 that could happen. Of course, we don't know what will happen. Storyline number 3. After early season struggles, Phillies decide to change direction, and Rob Thompson is let go as manager of the Phillies. In his place, begrudgingly, Don Mattingly takes over as interim Phillies manager. I think that's probably the biggest could story of 2026 is if the Phillies get off to a slow start. Because if you look at the Phillies' first 40 games, 40, 50 games, it's a pretty light schedule. And what I mean by light, I think was it Giglio the other day on WIP said they only play one team that made the playoffs over the first 40 games of the year. If they can't use that as a way to get out to a decent hot start, and I'm not talking 40-0, but I'm just talking a decent start to their season. But if they get out the gates wobbly and they get out the gates shaky, and as Papernick said, if there's starting to be some internal rumblings and grumblings from players about, lineup construction and what have you, i.e. Bryce Harper complaining he has nobody to protect him. At what point does Dave Dombrowski say enough's enough with Rob and we have to make a decision? I think that's probably the most likely storyline that could happen in 2026 is Rob Thompson getting fired somewhere in the late May, mid-June timeframe. And if you wait any time longer than that, you're jeopardizing your season. If you do it earlier than that, you might not be giving the guy a fair chance to sort of work things out. So, but I definitely think it's one of the more likely things that could happen to this team this year. Storyline number 2. This is my second storyline. After huge contract extension and dominant 2025 season, Phillies de facto ace Chris Sanchez struggles with 2026. Again, I don't wish Chris Sanchez, I wish him continued ascension into the heavens of dominant starting pitchers. I do. But there's a lot of talk, a lot of hope being placed at Sanchez's feet after one really dominant year and 2 very good years. Can he continue that? Can he sustain that? Is there film on him now? Is there tendencies on him now? Are teams going to start picking up on things on him now? People are going to start noticing him. Can he handle that? Can he handle the role as the ace for at least a month, at least for the Phillies? And is it too much for him? Gets the big contract, gets the big extension. Is a potential of a letdown season in the cards for Chris Sanchez, and I think that's a potential storyline that could happen in 2026. And my number 1 storyline that could happen for the fighting Philadelphia Phillies in 2026, rookie phenom center fielder Justin Crawford was more than advertised as he runs away with 2026 NL Rookie of the Year award. Literally runs away with it after swiping 52 bases in 2026 for the Phillies. He's Justin Crawford is obviously the biggest player that I'll be watching all season long. We're all going to be very fixated on him. We've been talking about Justin Crawford since the day he got drafted. I've been talking about him since he got drafted, and now it's time to see him perform. I know it's not fair to put any sort of expectations on him, but it is fair at the same time because he's now in the major leagues, right? This is what he wanted. This is what we wanted. Now it's time for him to perform, right? Again, is this moment going to be too much for him? I don't think so. I think he's going to be as I mentioned on Sunday, the step in the right direction of changing this team's offensive dynamic. And yes, I don't think so my number one storyline would be Justin Crawford runs away with the 2026 NL Rookie of the Year award in baseball. So there you go. There's my top 3 storylines that could happen in 2026. Number 3, after a slow start and early season struggles, Phillies part ways with Rob Thompson. Bright lights, big money. Chris Sanchez fails to replicate the dominance of 2025, and Justin Crawford runs away with the NL Rookie of the Year voting. There you have it, man. That's my top 3 stories that could happen in 2026. Who's the guy the Phillies called up? I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't heard anything. They're already starting to make moves. I have not heard it, Joe. I have no idea who the Phillies called up. Other than who the roster they said. All right, let's get to our final segment of the night, the best segment of the day. And, of course, the first time we've done this all week. Or no, second time. That's right. MattyB's Card Reviews on the air. We're going to wrap up our week. Again, this is our final episode. For those who are not aware, this is our final broadcast episode of this week. We will be gone until Monday or Tuesday. Not Monday. I think. Yeah, Monday. I think it's Monday. I think I'm back Monday. Yeah, I don't have post-game Monday, do I? No. Mike has post-game. All right, yeah, I think I'm back Monday night. So Monday night, I think is when the final word will get back. But then I know we're not on Tuesday, and then we're not on Wednesday. So I think it's Monday and Thursday next week is the only time we're going to be on the air. So, but we're going to wrap up the week in style. We're going to do the card review. This, along with the other night segment, really suffers this week. I apologize. I'll get back to doing it more frequently, I promise. But let's not cry over spilled milk. Let's get right into it. Tonight, we're going to head back to 2026, right? We're going back into this current year's Top Series 1 that's in full bloom. That's in full bloom. It's all over the place right now as we are deep into Top Series 1 2026 cards. Thousands of boxes and packs have already been sold, opened, and placed up online. It's you know the accuracy or the depthness, I guess, of the card season when you can type in random cards into a search engine from 2026 and they pop up on somebody's database that they've already sold. You're deep into a season at that point, because like a month ago when they first came out, 99.9% of the cards that I put up on the databases that they weren't showing up yet, but now they are starting to show up because the cards are definitely circulating now. And tonight we're going to talk about a card that is sneakily very, very lucrative and financially sound for a Series 1 base card. No bells and whistles other than the fact that it's an insert card. So that's the bell and whistle there. It's not a refractor. It's not a parallel. It's not a foil. It's none of these things. It's a base card, but an insert card. And it's from a player who's nowhere near his rookie year. So without further ado, let's bring it on. And it is the 2026 Top Series 1 Ronald Acuna Stars of Major League Baseball card insert. Topps does SMLB cards every year. This year is no different. And this is Ronald Acuna's 2026 Stars of Major League Baseball card. Card number SMLB 15. And surprisingly, and I like how they've done, this is the Stars of MLB card format for this year. I like it a lot better than last year. Notice the Americana theme here with the SMLB cards. Very good nod, I believe, towards the 250th anniversary of our great nation as the backdrop to their Stars of Major League Baseball cards this year. Pretty cool. And this card, again, for a player that's nowhere near his rookie year and coming off of multiple injury-plagued seasons, still is a name around this game. A PSA 10 of this card is valued right now at $35. It's been sold for $35. A 9.5 is valued at $23, a 9, $12, an 8, $6, and an ungraded about $1. Which, you know, ungraded is a nobody, like all my cards are ungraded, but I never sell them for the ungraded price, because when I look at a card to try to sell it, I look at the price anywhere between a 8 and a 10, and I come up with a number in between, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know anything about card grading and that I can determine what a PSA 10 is anymore, because the parameters have changed so much. But I feel very confident that my cards all fall into that 8 and 10 zone, so to speak. So that's kind of how I go about listing cards. But yeah, this is a very surprisingly financially stable card for a Ronald Acuna insert card, Stars in Major League Baseball. And again, I already told you I'm digging the Americana background for this year's card. All the SMLB cards will be this formatted, and there you have it. The Ronald Acuna Stars in Major League Baseball 2026 Series 1 card, and here it is in its physical form. I actually have 3 of these in my early season pulls. And then again, on the back, again, more of the Americana thing going on. And there it is again. So there you have it. We wrap it up strong with some Ronald Acuna stuff. I got an offer. Yeah, I did see those cards, by the way, that you posted, Joe. Very cool. And he's saying he's got a $100 offer on the Dalton card. Is it worth to sell it? So auto. So Joe, the first thing I would tell you to do is look for it online. Look for the year, the make, in terms of the company that made the card, Darren Dalton. See if you can find it as an autograph card. Find out if it's who's moved it. There's a couple different sites you can use. I use on my computer, I use Sports Cards Pro. It's a database that has a bunch of sports that has cards on it. On my phone, I use Market Movers app on my phone to look for cards. So go ahead and look on any one of those and both those databases I trust. And what those databases do, Market Movers, for example, it pulls data information that's comes from multiple selling sites, i.e. eBay, whatnot, places like that a lot of online purchases are made, and they pull data in from those sources, and they create like metrics about, you know, when the cards were sold, how much they were sold for, blah 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 blah. So same thing with Sports Cards Pro. They do the same type of thing. They pull in data from all these online sites that sell cards, and find out see if you can find the card. See if you can find it as an auto. Look at its history of how it's sold, and come up with, you know, your own suggestion. I would say, based on what I know about what I've seen of the card, $100 is pretty good. I'd probably take that. But go ahead and search it. See if you can milk some more out of it. See if you're right or you're wrong. And but $100 is definitely a fair price for you. And obviously, the person who's offering $100 for a Darren Dalton card probably really wants it, and maybe you can get more, you know, if you want to jack up the price. I don't know, but yeah, go ahead and look at one of those sites and see if you can kind of base some sort of parameter. Christian Cairo is the player I'm talking about. I didn't know he got called up. I did not know that. I know he's with the he's in the minors. I didn't know he got called up. Bench piece. I don't know who's hurt. I didn't know anybody got hurt. I'll have to look into that. All right, folks. We've made it to the end. We are here. It is baseball time. Tomorrow on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, we will be returning the Fightins final at around, I guess, the completion of whenever that game is over, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, whenever that game ends tomorrow afternoon. Me and Big Al will be here for the season premiere of the Fightins final. And so that because we won't see you till the next series, this is your Fightins final Washington Nationals series schedule. Mike will have you Monday. Big Al will have you Tuesday. I will be coming at you on Wednesday afternoon. And that is our Washington Nationals series schedule for the next one. But yeah, it's all about what's going to happen tomorrow. Baseball opening day is here. Tomorrow is go time. Tomorrow should be a national holiday. And I cannot wait for it every year. Best day of baseball of the year. We're going to say goodbye from the Fightins, or from the final word for a few days. But don't forget, you're going to be seeing me all over the place. You're going to be seeing everybody this weekend as it's all hands on deck now until November. That's right. Party time has ended. You know, all that time in the winter, we could have gotten all these special things done. I really kind of kicked myself for not getting deeper into the NHL prospects or an NHL draft. But I can't lament over that, because next week we're going to start talking about Phillies prospects. That's right. Going to add another little wrinkle to the fold as we've moved into that. So I got Phillies prospects, MLB draft, and NHL draft still to go and get you caught up in as we move through the course of the next 7 months. But that's okay. I prefer it that way. But thank you for your attention this week, or this night. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Dream of baseball and baseball players, and summer in the sun, as we've arrived to yet another baseball season. And with the labor situation that's looming, really soak in every game this year. Really soak in every moment of every game. Find something. Set a new goal for yourself that you're going to watch every game. Set a goal that you're going to follow every game. Set a goal that you're going to follow something. Set a goal that you're going to be part of the ride in such a way that you have not done before, and become invested, like more than you've ever been. And I'm telling you, when you get to a sort of a spot like we did in 2022, when we started this post-game show, and I became personally invested on a day-to-day, pitch-by-pitch basis on this baseball team, and I followed it all the way through the season. And when we were sitting there talking about going to the World Series after beating the Padres, there was a sense of accomplishment that I know, I mean, it's going to sound weird, but because I was along with them on every game, every pitch, all season long, I felt as if I had gone to the World Series, for God's sakes. I felt validated because I followed it literally every pitch of every game that season. And it was a great feeling. And it makes you feel even more invested in this team. And I know there's a lot of venom spewed by me, a lot of venom spewed by a lot of different people about this team. And yeah, there's some concerns, and there's some frustrations here, and there's some possible fool's gold that we're all chasing. And we know that. But at least for this night, this one night, as we sit here on the eve of the start of it all's right in the world, man. All is right in the Phillies world, at least for one night. Now, it's going to change starting tomorrow, and we're going to get back up on our soapboxes and start throwing arrows. I get it. I'm right along with you. But for one night, all is right in the Phillies world. And maybe we can achieve that feeling again at the end of all this when we're hopefully celebrating our third world championship. But buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be a bumpy ride, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and there's going to be a lot of meltdowns, and there's going to be a lot of gaskets blown, and there's going to be a lot of eyes to the sky moments that we're going to wonder, what in the hell are we doing? But it is 162 games, and they're not going to win the World Series in March and April. They could potentially lose it, but they're certainly not going to win a World Series in March and April. So follow MattyB's trick, right? This is what I do every baseball season. The first month, which in this case, let's call it April. I get it. It's March, but let's call it April. 500 or better, healthy. That's it. That's all I want them to be. It's 500 or better and not injured. That is if they can get there in that capacity at the end of April, it's a successful start to the season. Then you build some momentum in May. Last year and in 2023, last year and in 2024, they had amazing months of May. So much so last year that they kind of rode what they did in May through June and a terrible July until things turned around for them in August. I think they were 19-9 in May last year. That's exactly what you want to do coming out of April. You want to ride. You want to build that momentum. You want to come off of that momentum in April, and you want to build on it in May, and then you want to sit back and coast. Now, the one year that they did not have a good May, which of course was in 2022, which caused Joe Girardi's job, but healthy and 500 or better at the end of April, build off that momentum in May, and then, bear down for the summer. And we can get there. We'll see how this thing rolls out. But it's going to be a fun ride, and I cannot wait to go along with it with you this year. And I cannot wait for Mike and Al to also go along with it with us this year. So we talk again tomorrow on the Titans Vinyl. It is my great pleasure and my great honor to announce we have arrived at another Phillies season. And I am looking forward to it as I look forward to every single Phillies season. Let's go, Phillies. Ring the bell. I'm out of here.